Who's Judas? Which one of these is Judas? I thought that Judas was supposed to be.
Well, hold on. First off, spoiler warning for anybody who happens to actually watch this,
Spoiler
cares
alert.
about watching this, or anything of that matter, because obviously
Don't
we're
watch
just
our
going to talk
episode.
about it.
We're gonna spoil everything.
So I'm going to give you a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Obviously, it's the gay.
The gays try to kill Tanya.
The gays are Judas,
Tanya.
Angela.
The gays are Judas?
The gays are Judas because they're the ones that she feels, oh my God, we're best friends. And then boom, backstab. Relatable.
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 Welcome to our show. That actually is a perfect lead-in to one of our hot topics for today, which is White Lotus. And I'd like to start this off before we even dive into it
with the honorary singing
with you. Not the singing, but I should get that. But I would like to share with you.
Oh, I meant we were going to attempt our version of singing it.
Why don't we do it?
What the fuck is this?
I put this on the screen.
Wait, is this?
Can you see it?
Is it just the season 2 people?
Yeah, we don't care about season 1. It's all about season 2. We don't care. Season 1 was great, and then season 2 came out, and no one cares about season 1. Sorry, season 1 people. We don't care about you. It's all about season 2 and Tanya. But this Last Supper picture by Bianca Bosso, I think I might have to order this, but then I thought about where am I going to put it in my house?
You're not going to put it anywhere because you're not going to order it.
Why? It's beautiful. It's got Tanya, our leading lady, as Jesus in the middle.
Oh, you trying to tell me this was painted or somebody photoshopped this?
No, she photoshopped it, and she did a fantastic job, I might add. Like, look at this. We've got all of our characters here. And who's Judas? Which one of these is Judas? I thought that Judas was supposed to be.
Well, hold on. First off, spoiler warning for anybody who happens to actually watch this, cares about watching this, or anything of that matter, because obviously we're just going to talk about it.
We're going to spoil everything.
So I'm going to give you a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Obviously, it's the gay.
The gays try to kill Tanya.
The gays are Judas, Angela.
The gays are Judas?
The gays are Judas because they're the ones that she feels, oh my God, we're best friends. And then boom, backstab.
Yeah, the kiss of death.
Either that or where's her husband at?
He's right here in the green, acting like he's holding them back.
Yeah, he's Judas.
Yeah, he's Judas.
Yeah, because he's the one that banged her 3 times, and then.
So we've got a lot to do.
And then he told the gays to kill her.
But I thought that this was very nice and symbolic because, as you see here, we have our sacrifice, the poor and innocent and just all around lovable character Tanya.
Sure,
really is the hero for all
lovable.
Of us. Lovable, so lovable.
Absolutely lovable. Nothing odd about her in any way.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
So, White Lotus, you want to give it a stab at what it's loosely about, the second season?
Well, the show in general, for the people that somehow stuck around because they were interested.
Or that have seen it before.
Yeah, they were interested but didn't mind a spoiler. Well, hopefully you're not as obsessed with Tanya as Angela is. If you are, oh, so sad. She basically killed herself on accident.
Oh my gosh, no, I said, what is the show about? And you go straight to the ending of how it ended. What is it about, Dylan?
Look, I'm just telling it like it is. Big deal.
To build up to something.
Things happen.
Now we don't have a grand finale.
What do you mean? The grand finale is that's the show's grand finale. I don't care.
Okay.
I gave the spoiler warning because I knew I'd just randomly pop off. But yeah, basically the show is about just really disgusting rich people doing disgusting rich people things. And at these very beautiful hotels in very beautiful areas, and the hotels are a chain called White Lotus. And yeah, it's about the staff and all of the people that go there. And the so far only recurring character in the 2 seasons is Miss Tanya, who was basically killed by the gays.
So,
and also the reason why we are calling them the gays is because that's what she called them in the show when she was in a state of panic.
The gays. We love the gays.
The gays as a whole.
Let's play a clip of these gays are trying to kill me.
It's so good.
Because it's the best part.
Yeah,
Didn't I send you like here you go. These gays are trying to murder me.
Yeah, basically she becomes best friends with this group of gay men when she's in Italy, and she's having a great time. She realizes something's a little off when she sees something, and she's just like, oh, well, whatever. I'm still having a great time. Then later on, she notices something else, and she's like, okay, maybe that first thing I saw was actually a red flag, and this is a bigger red flag. Maybe I should take notice of these. No, it's okay. I'll put that behind me. She sees one more thing, and she's like, okay, they were all red flags. There's 3 of them. I might be surrounded.
And for someone that is portrayed as such a ditz and so just not in it the whole time.
And she somehow figured it out.
She's the one that figures everything out. Because Dylan and I were having, if you rewind it all the way back, like in the beginning of this, she starts at the White Lotus with her husband, Greg. And they're not having a very good relationship. And you start to kind of suspect that Greg is cheating on her. And she just isn't seeing
he's something.
She just wants to believe that everything's fine, believe in true love. Ironically, she meets him in the first season when she's in a really bad place. So he's just been able to kind of play on her being in such a vulnerable
being vulnerable
and so things don't go well, and they decide to split up, and she tells him to get the fuck out. And then she and her assistant, who is also with her, meet these fabulous gays, and they start to take them. They invite them out on their yacht,
which also
island.
When they first see her, that was I very much enjoyed the way that
was up.
Well, no, I enjoyed the way that they did it, where it was like, yeah, she's having dinner, and she's just like, why does that table of guys keep staring at me? And eventually, when one of them comes up and speaks to her later, he's just like, you are the brightness in this valley of gray. And
she is.
What he's talking about is her outfit choice. And honestly, yes, because most of these people are in there like, basically you think of like the vacation wear that people at the Bahamas wear, like the linen nonsense.
Yeah.
That's mainly all that like everybody's wearing. And then she's always just very bright and vibrant colors with extravagant patterns that really makes her pop and stand out. And so that's what they notice. They let her know. They're like, hey, you are something special. And she's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck my husband. I am special. What are you guys doing? And they're like, well, we're going to be down at the Cabana Club later. If you want to come down, we'll have a great time. And yeah, they start schmoozing her. Things are going really well. And one of the nights she ends up sitting there and she's talking with the one that initially brought her into the group. And she's like, yeah, have you ever been in love? And he goes, well, yeah, once when what did he say? When he was in his 30s?
Yeah.
Or something like that. He was traveling across America and he met a cowboy, but he was straight. And so obviously it would never work. But even 30
Brokeback Mountain moment though.
Even 30 years later, he still was in love with the guy.
And would do anything for him. And
you're just like, huh, interesting. And at that moment, I was like, a cowboy, huh? her husband's kind of got a cowboy thing going on. I mean, he's a park ranger, but I mean, you think of Lone Ranger, that's cowboy. There's maybe connection there. Nah, it couldn't be. So, things go on. They're talking a little bit more, but then you notice he points and there's a picture, and it's him and some other guy, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think that's supposed to be him, the cowboy.
I had no idea.
I'm over here just like, I think that's her husband. I think he's the cowboy. I think he's gonna try and kill her so he can get the money, because
there's probably
also
something in the prenup.
Funny enough, they talked about the prenup at that dinner when the gays were staring at them. That was when she was just like, well, I need you to do this. He's like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I need to have my job, because what happens if you divorce me? Then I have nothing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's the whole thing, is obviously they have a prenup, but apparently there's a loophole where if she dies, he gets it all. But if she does anything else, it's cool. No harm, no foul. Like,
so, but question though.
So
do you think he planned this from the beginning of going on that vacation, planned to have her killed before they even got in a fight?
Probably.
Because the gays were already there before they got in a fight. It wasn't like they got in a fight and then he was like, screw this.
Yeah, he was ready. He's like, we're taking her down.
And
well, yeah, because also
he insisted on it being there or something. She said he insisted.
Yeah, he insisted on it being in Italy, which happened to be where that guy's little family mansion was, and blah blah blah.
And the gays, the head gay, the queen gay, who he presented himself as being very rich, was not as rich as he seemed. And there's this whole other scene where his nephew says to her assistant, who they're boinking, that he's about to come into money. Mm-hmm. That for me was when I was like, oh, something is up. I knew something was up when Tanya walks in on him banging his uncle. It's a very messy story, but basically
we still don't know if that's his uncle or not.
No, I don't think it is.
Could be.
The kid came across him somehow, and the guy has been like, I think that the dude was paying him off to be his like toy boy.
He basically is just like, the kid described it as he was in a very dark place, in a dark hole, and the guy got him out. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
so then he owed him.
Did he get him out? Because it doesn't seem like it. He's still in a dark hole. Hey.
Oh, no. So hopefully whoever is here has watched the series already, so we can talk about this like we all know what's going on. But
let us know.
But basically, when we get to the point where Tanya is on a yacht with the guys and she knows that something is wrong because her assistant hasn't come back. Her assistant is hanging out with the nephew and they haven't come back, and they're supposed to meet them when they get back to the White Lotus. So they're on their yacht leaving from where their mansion was, and she figures out that something wrong is happening. We're gonna take a little trip back and just relive this moment for a second, because this is one of
fifth grade math, and now
Tobias
I'm on
looks
the
like
tread.
he works at a fucking kiosk.
Oh no!
Oh, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Christine.
Oh my God! Look at Tundi Oyenin. She's gorgeous.
Look at Tundi.
She's a statue.
Yeah, it's like a.
We're not ready to talk about that yet. Okay.
But she is gorgeous and a statue. That's very true.
So she figures out something is going wrong. Her little run is everything for me. She just like, this is.
I mean, hey, that's a panicked person.
So she tries to call her. She loses her phone, and then she's like, "Oh shit!" And then she
foreshadowing. She's clumsy.
Oh no!
Fuck.
So she goes up to try because she can see the land. The White Lotus is
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's right there. It's literally right there in front of them.
Do you speak English? No. No English?
And then she keeps going. Do you speak English? Okay.
No.
Do you know these gays?
Okay.
Do you know these gays?
Do you know these guys?
I know it sounds
What?
crazy, but my husband, he knows Quentin.
That's
He
right.
brought me to
I love
Sicily,
this guy's little
and
knit
then
hat.
he left so he could have an alibi.
Yeah, I want one of
Bullshit
those.
caption.
These gays, they take me off to Palermo, and then they set me up with this guy who's in the mafia, and he's coming here, I think, to try to throw me off the boat. They're going to do
Throw her off the boat.
Craig's dirty work for him because he's going to pay them with my money so they can decorate their houses or some shit.
That's my favorite part.
Maybe
So they can decorate their houses
Some
with it or
shit.
some shit.
I don't know.
Yeah, and so
But I need you
that's
to
where we keep
drive
getting
me.
to these gays.
Yes.
Because yeah, she's just such a state of panic, and she's like, "What do I call this group of people trying to murder me?" Well, they have one thing in common: they're all gay. These gays are trying to kill me. Do you know these gays? Do you know they're trying to kill me? Scusi? Scusi, no English.
So obviously, as we all know, or as you're about to find out,
It's a great show. Watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, it's a great
We
show.
ruined part of the ending. No big deal. Still good show. Watch it.
It's
If you want to disgust yourself with how rich people live and how they get away with things and how some don't get away with things, watch it.
But I have to say that I like the whole scene when she basically comes out of the bathroom. She steals a gun. She comes out of the bathroom.
Oh no, she comes out of the bedroom.
Oh, the bedroom, yeah. And
Yeah.
she starts shooting at all the guys on this boat. And my heart is just like, oh, Tanya. Like, I think something bad's gonna happen where she shoots someone, she thinks they're dead, and then they come back to life and they get her in like the last moments of their life. Like, that's what I think is gonna happen this whole time. She shoots them all, and then she goes and she's like looking to climb into the boat that the guy that was supposed to take her back
Yeah,
to
the little
shore
dinghy.
came in. And I was like, how did the guy get on the boat? There must be steps on the back, but she can't even think because she's in such a panic.
Yeah. There should be a ladder or something to let her get from the yacht to the dinghy. And
well, in an interview, they asked her, they said, why didn't Tanya take off her shoes? They asked Jennifer Coolidge why. And she said, well, we did the scene a couple different ways, but I never took my heels off. She goes, because when you're in a panic, you're not thinking, I need to take my shoes off. You're not thinking about any of that. And when she fell over and hit her head, and then when she was like, dunk, dunk, into the water, I literally said out loud, no fucking way.
I laughed when it happened because I was just like,
mad.
that's perfectly in character for her. To just
like,
be like, oh, I'll save myself. I did this amazing thing. Let me try and save myself. Dunk into the water, face down, knocked out.
Done.
Now dead.
I thought maybe she might. No, done.
No, hell no.
But
She
I will
died.
say she went out on her own terms. She also was the cause of her own demise.
She was.
Which was inevitable. Like, she was eventually she was very toxic to herself. Like, she was one of those people that she brought her own shit upon her.
Oh,
but
yeah.
at least she did it to herself. No one was able to take her life away from her. That was her power, but also it was her weakness.
That was her power and also her downfall.
But so, in terms of the other characters on this show, though, I think that the two couples, Harper and Ethan and Cameron, and did you know the wife's name is Daphne?
I didn't know any of their names. I know Aubrey Plaza, that one guy.
I don't think they ever say her name really.
And I didn't pay attention to the other two.
Yeah, you always hear Cameron and Harper.
Yeah.
But I didn't know this other girl's name was Daphne. I don't remember them referring to her at all.
Me neither.
Daphne. But I think the two couples story began to bore me the most. Like, every time it would go back to them eating at breakfast again and stuff, I was like, here we go. Like, we all get
Also,
it.
what I mean, I
did like Harper's character, but I felt bored. Maybe I was feeling what Harper was feeling. The insane boredom of their boring ass trip.
Yeah.
In this beautiful place. It was boring as fuck.
I guess. Well, then, yeah, I guess it's because I've never had an experience like that. I don't understand how they could consistently eat like breakfast and dinner every day they've been at this hotel together for a week.
Oh, at the same place?
At the hotel.
I thought about that too. I was like, that's
like,
kind of like you
have so many
places to go.
For filming, it makes sense. This is the set. This is where they can make it work.
Yeah.
It's also very easy to have like the random changing of the story real quick to be like, we're focused on these two couples. Let's shift over to the 3 generations of men over here doing their thing. Oh, look, there goes Tanya and the gays. Oh, wait, back to the 2 couples. Like, that definitely makes more sense. But yeah, a lot of the time I was sitting there thinking like, why? Who just
and sitting together too? Like, I would get tired of my best friends at that point. Like,
no, offense,
I don't want to eat every meal with you guys.
At the very end of it, it was great when they're Harper and was it Ethan?
Yeah, Harper.
Yeah, where they're sitting there by themselves, and then the other couple's just like, oh, hey guys, why didn't you tell us? Oh, we're gonna sit over there with them, and then I was like, oh man.
So, which couple do you think had a stronger relationship? Do you think that Cameron and Daphne, who Cameron is notoriously known for,
I guess they did.
I think in a very weird way.
They have because they know it, they're almost in like that, what is it, the ethical non-monogamy. In a way, like that's kind of how they operate. Like they're just
like, they don't talk about the other stuff that they do.
Yeah, they don't talk about it with the other one. They know something's probably happening, but they're just like, yo, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Don't fucking bring it up. Don't mention it, because then we have to put on an act and pretend like we're a happy couple. We have beautiful kids. We do what we do when we want to do it, but together we're still able to enjoy and have fun together because we're able to get the rest of whatever's happening out of the way.
But it is weird because you do have those moments where you see Daphne where she's talking about it and you can tell that she's still trying
kind of
to
bugs her.
It.
Yeah.
Like she's at a place where she's okay with it, but she's still trying to cope with it. And then she always says the same thing, like, don't let yourself be the victim, which I was like, that's an interesting way to look at it. She's like, I'm not a victim. I won't allow myself to be a victim. So I do what I need to do to make myself feel better about it. Does it really make her feel better about it? Who knows? Maybe in the time that she's doing whatever she's doing, whether it's spending his money or cheating with her gym person.
Yeah.
But it is funny how like that couple, they know what's going on. They don't talk about it. So it almost is like they never lied to each other.
Yeah.
Right? But then the couple that says we don't lie to each other was the couple that kept lying to each other.
They kept lying and blowing everything up.
Right? Because Ethan tells Harper, like when they were hanging out with the hookers, that nothing happened when that hooker kissed him.
Mm.
And then when it was the other way around and Harper admitted that his friend kissed her,
at first she said nothing.
Standard. Yeah. It was a double standard, but they both were lying to each other and made a big deal about we don't lie to each other, when the other couple seemed like they were in a deceitful relationship, but they never denied or lied to each other that we saw.
And
they just moved on.
The other thing that was funny was the fact that anytime you thought, or anytime it seemed like they could have a potential argumentative moment, it was from the point of view of Harper and Ethan, because one of the two of them got information. They're like, oh my God, you know this? Ha, see, they aren't the perfect couple. And it was like
insecure about their own
because they were insecure about their own relationship, not realizing and being able to take the hints from everything that's happened that like, yeah, this is what they do. They know they're not in the perfect relationship.
And they don't,
and because of that, it kind of is.
Yeah. Instead of just like playing the whole thing and pretending like they're in this big. It's very interesting, and it's very good writing. Like, I don't think there's been a lot on TV lately that has had as, interesting writing like this, where it actually gets you really thinking about the characters and relating to some characters in ways that you didn't think you could, or having characters open your eyes to different ways of thinking about stuff.
Like the 3 generations of men.
Let's move on to, I loved this storyline. These guys, loved them. Albie, the dad's name is Dominic, and grandpa's name is Bert. But didn't they call the grandpa Albie sometimes too, or no? It was just little Albie.
No, it's just little Albie, yeah.
They never really, because the other guys, you just hear them refer to each other as dad and grandpa, and
it was usually just dad and dad, or on the occasion grandpa.
Yeah. DeGrasso. So these gentlemen embark on a vacation that becomes a boys' trip, not on purpose.
Yeah,
it was a family trip.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a family trip, and you find out that the father had basically, because the whole theme of that season was like sex, basically. You find out that the father he got caught cheating, right?
I think,
or it was basically that like
been doing it.
Everybody knew that he had been cheating, so there's a very strained relationship between the mother and the daughter, who we don't get to see, and him. And so the whole family was supposed to come because the trip was supposed to be reuniting their grandfather with like a potential cousin, or just some relatives
where he grew up.
Not to see where he grew up, but to see where his mother grew up.
Where his mother grew up.
To see, like, basically go back to their roots and like try and find long lost family. But yeah, so mother and daughter end up not being able to come out because they're super mad at him. So it ends up just becoming a boys' trip. So it's the grandpa, the dad, and the son. And so while we're out there, one of the very first scenes you see when everybody's coming up on the boat, the couples, Tanya and her assistant, and then the 3 generations, is you see these two Italian girls starting to walk by, and they're looking, and one of them is a prostitute and the other one is like her friend. And she's just like, oh, like why are we walking around here? She's like, oh, well, we're here to see Tom Cruise.
Wait, is that what she said?
That was the alias. Yeah, the alias that was given. We're here to see Tom Cruise. He's supposed to be on this boat. So the first thing you're thinking of, and is one of these guys is a cheater that's on this boat.
Yeah.
Who called ahead of time. And you're just like, oh my gosh, who is it?
Girls ahead of time, yeah.
And so what ends up happening is it turns out that the father is the one that called this hooker. So he had, what was
ironically, after already, like, he's in an argument with his wife, he's getting a divorce with his wife, most likely, and goes on this trip that was supposed to be a family trip, and he's like, well, it's all in shambles, and decides to hit up a hooker. Come on.
Decides to hit up a hooker. And so he spends like 2 nights, 1 or 2 nights with him, because it was like the first night he did his thing. The hookers get in trouble because the lady that runs the hotel is just like, hey, get the fuck out of here, hookers. We don't want you in the hotel.
Get out of here, hookers.
Goddamn hookers over here. And so then they're like, hey, if you want us to hang around, you got to do something so we don't get chased out of the hotel. So he has to go to the hotel staff and be like, hey, they're with me. And the lady's like, yeah, but you can only have 2 people to a room. There's 2 of them.
Oh, right.
And he's just like, oh, he's like, okay, assign her to my room, assign her to my father's room, to the grandpa. So all 3 of the men end up having an interaction with the 2 women during this trip in different ways. Because the father basically spends those first 2 nights with them. Then it's like the next day or the day after, the grandfather's going back to his room, and by putting them on the room, they now have hotel keys. So they go into the grandfather's room to basically freshen up, like, take a shower, whatever. The grandpa opens the door. One of them's dressed. The other one is putting her top back on, but he's just like, oh, sorry, I must have the wrong room. Oh. But that puts a smile on his face, because the one thing you learn about this family is that, would it be that they're the older 2 generation are womanizers?
Yes.
Essentially. And the young kid can see this and is like, I need to be different. I need to be better. So he's definitely trying to be more open about everything and the way life works and operates. So he eventually ends up hooking up with the girl that was originally
that went there to meet his
dad. The OG prostitute. Yeah. Because I'm trying to think, because the other girl, she has her own thing of becoming the pianist of the hotel.
But
where was I going with this?
He starts to fall about how they all have their interactions with them. So the dad, basically the dad's interaction with them is he kind of gets what it is that he wanted, and then realizes that it's not fulfilling him, because he still feels like crap about his family. So he actually at that point tells the girls, like, look, I can't see you anymore, and like, you can put some stuff in my room, you can get yourself drinks and stuff, but this can't happen anymore. And so that kind of serves its purpose with him, which is good. And then the grandpa gets his little interaction with them.
The grandpa gets his interaction. And he's just like, hey, I never thought I would see another woman topless for the rest of my life. So honestly, this was a win for me.
Yeah.
And then, so that's the thing with the son is when the father finally notices who the son has been talking to now, he loses it. And he's just like, what is he doing with her? Like, what's going on? He goes to her separately. He's just like, hey, I don't want you anywhere near my family, blah, blah, blah. And the girl's just like, oh, okay, I won't purposefully go near your family.
Yeah.
But what happens? He ends up approaching her, the son. And so, they start something up. And so when he brings her with him to like one of the family dinners or something that they have, you can see the dad is visibly uncomfortable. And anytime that then the dad and the grandpa have a moment
with this girl, now she's looking for this kid.
Yeah, anytime then the father and the grandpa have a moment alone, the father's just like, I don't like it. Like, this shouldn't be happening. He's getting played. And the grandpa's just like, well, what's the matter with it? Like, this is just your son, like living his youth, basically. Like, let him have this. And he's just like, no, like, blah, blah, blah. She's a prostitute. And he's just like, yeah, but you already slept with her. What? He's like, you think I couldn't hear the first night we were here? The walls are very thin. There's a lot of loud music and moaning coming from your fucking room. And the grandpa's just like, why are you, why is this double standard being applied? Like, why can't your son do this? And he's just like, well, because I don't want, basically it seemed like the father was like, I don't want him to turn out like me, thinking that sleeping with a prostitute was the journey to that.
Yeah.
And you find out that then the reason why he doesn't want his son to end up like him is because he in a sort of way wound up like his father, because you find out that then, oh, the grandpa didn't have a very good relationship with his wife. Go figure. It's the classic thing that most people see in like their older grandparents from that generation, where it's they're both
the women stay home.
They're both miserable.
Kids.
They're both miserable in
Stay
their own way.
together.
They won't separate. They're just like, no, like we're married. So what ends up happening? More than likely the grandpa goes around, sleeps around,
while
and
the wife's not allowed to.
While the wife's not allowed to, or more of she has more of the moral compass to be like, I don't want to do that. Like I can't. Like we're supposed to be in this together, but also then doesn't have the fortitude enough to be like, hey, I want out of this if this is going to happen. So then she just sits there and seethes in her own anger. And it's just nothing but a bad case of butting heads in a terrible way until one of them dies. And then the other one's just like, oh no, we had a beautiful thing. And it's like, did you? Because let me tell you, it was not a beautiful thing. And so, you find out it's basically this chain of bad relationships with women and the way that they handle it being passed down from generation to generation, and the youngest boy trying to be like, I need to break this cycle.
So he ends up thinking the storyline that you're then fed when he meets Lucia, who is a prostitute, is you start to think that, oh my gosh, like they have a different relationship. They show you their interactions in a different way. And you start to see that maybe she wants a different life, and that maybe she's falling for him because it seems very mutual. And she, confides in Albie who's a son, and that, there's a guy there who's her pimp, and he expects money from her. And if she doesn't have the money, it's going to be very bad. And she just wants to be like free of this. And, they talk about her maybe coming out to California to, see his family and stuff. And you really start to kind of believe that they have this love story going on. And there's this point where the son goes to his father and says, like, look, I need money. And his dad's like, well, how much do you need? And I did the calculation. It was the equivalent of $50,000. And that's when I really realized
he said he wanted 50,000 euros.
Which is still about the same.
Is the rate about 1-to-1? Yeah.
Roughly. Let's see.
Yeah, essentially probably a little more, because I'm pretty sure the euro is still stronger than the dollar.
Euros to dollars, $52,950.
Yeah.
So the son's asking him for money, and the
For
dad
throwaway
knows
money.
what it. Like, and he's asking him for it like it's nothing. And that was the moment. So I like really felt for Albie the whole time, and that was the first time that I was like, no, this kid isn't in touch with reality.
And also,
casually ask his dad for $50,000.
They are that out of touch rich family.
That is like, I couldn't even imagine asking mom for like $50 or $500. I couldn't imagine asking her casually, like, yo, can you give me $500? Like, it's just, the thought of that is so rude. And just like,
not even, hey, can't, like the classic line of, can I borrow?
Yeah, which is the can I borrow? He said,
is the implied of like, hey, would you mind lending it to me? You might not get it back. It's the, hey, I need, give me 50,000 euros.
That much money wouldn't even be,
make
it would
it
literally be the equivalent of him.
It is pocket change. Yeah.
So he has this back and forth with his dad, because his dad doesn't want to give it to him. He goes, I'll give you 10. Because like 10,000.
His dad knows. He's just like, why? There's no way the amount of nights you spent with the hooker equal to 50,000 euros. So, and you end up finding out that he's just like, essentially the dad's like, I don't want you to pay this woman that amount of money. Like, what do you think is going to happen? You guys are going to live happily ever after. And he's just like, why does it matter?
Yeah, he's like, you
It's
could
like, why
change
does it matter?
someone's life, blah blah blah. You could help her.
Yeah,
And
if you had the opportunity to make a change in someone's life, a drastic change, wouldn't you want to do it?
but at this point though, too, you find out how out of touch with reality the kid is, and then he says to his dad, he's like, I'll make you a deal. If you give me this money, I will talk to mom for you.
Yeah, I'll put in
And
a
I'll
good
put
word
in a
with
good
mom.
word. And that is the first time that you see him, who
Now
he presents himself as being righteous and standing up for women. And it's the first time now, because of sex, because he's like whipped, he is willing to basically, go against his relationship with his mom. He's willing to betray his own mother,
yeah,
for this girl, which is, to me, that is the ultimate betrayal. Knowing that his dad has still done bad things, and like, hey, you might look at it as like, no, he just wants his family to be okay, but it's not, he doesn't do it for that reason here.
yeah.
He's still pissed off at his dad, but he's willing to betray his own mother for this girl. And it's like, is the cycle broken?
And at the very end, when they're all at the airport, a beautiful girl walks by, and what happens? All three of them in a row, grandpa, dad, son, all three turn around and look. And that's when you realize, you're like, the cycle continues.
Yeah. Well, and as you find out, Lucia, which you realize you're kind of seeing it through his
through
eyes the whole time.
Yeah, you mainly get his perspective of her, because anytime it's her by herself, it's not usually her by herself, it's her with her friend. And them basically being like, oh yeah, like, oh, what do you want the money for? Like, it's basically them and their dreams. And the one girl's dream, Lucia, is to open her own store. And then the other girl is, I want to be a singer, like a performer, a musician. And you're able to see that girl get her dream. She ends up becoming the pianist at the hotel. She's able to play and sing there. And yeah, it's not until the very end when you start to think about it, and you're like, 50k euros. Okay, I wonder what you could do with that. And yeah, you come to realize, when it's all three of the guys at the airport by themselves, that it's like, you know what? She probably played him, at a girl. You got your money. And yeah, at the very end, it just shows the two girls like just kind of walking around, and you're like, wait a minute, what happened with the pimp? Because like at one point the pimp's following them, and he's just like, get out of the car, come with us. And you're like, oh no, you're afraid for her. You're like, oh, what's going to happen to her? And you come to find out, she played you hard.
She did. Yeah, the guy was not even her pimp. He was some valet dude that she paid off to, like, you realize the whole thing. Like, she played him from the beginning. She did not care.
She
she
set
ended
it
up with
up
more
good.
money. Yes, because she got paid from Cameron, who also like saw her on a different night. And it's like, holy cow. And you're almost kind of like, good for you, because she, talk about being a victim, she was not a victim.
Yeah, no, she was like,
not
look,
a victim.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm about. I know what my goal is. I'm here to make money. Let's work it.
Well, because sometimes you think of a prostitute, you're like, oh, like they're probably on drugs, they're probably this, they're probably that. And then this showed such a glamorous, which I'm sure it's not all glamour, obviously, but this showed this side that I've never really thought of, where she's just like, no, like, I'm getting what I need. And
that's like the, what's the docu series that you sent me on YouTube about the brothel in Vegas?
Yeah, where those women, I mean, that's a very organized one too.
But yeah, I mean, like, it, at the end of the day, what she's doing, it's still a profession. Like, this is, when it comes to certain things, like, yeah, in that one in particular, it's very organized. Like, they have rules in place. There's, I don't know how to describe that. But yeah, like it's not what is usually portrayed, which is the classic, yeah, like you said, like, oh, they're probably on drugs. Like, yeah, there's more than likely a pimp that's like behind the scenes, like abusing them more than likely. Like, no, this is,
in which that is the case in a lot of situations, but not all.
Yeah, not all. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just thought it was like kind of, I don't know.
But yeah, no, good show. Watch it. Even though you heard us give a beautiful synopsis of it, give it a watch.
Well, in the song that they play through the episodes, one where the girl who wants to be a pianist sings, and the first time she sings, I was like, wow, she sounds so great. And they play this at the end, but they play the best things in life are free.
Oh, yeah.
The lyrics, let's see. The moon belongs to everyone. The best things in life are free. The stars belong to everyone. They gleam there for you and me. The flowers in spring, the robins that sing, the moonbeams that shine, they're yours, they're mine. And love can come to everyone. The best things in life are free. And love can come to everyone. The best things in life are free. So it's like, whatever that is to you, like those girls, I think out of everyone in this whole series, like who actually like got the best side of the deal out of all of this were our two prostitutes and the manager of the hotel.
Heck yeah.
Who she seemed so uptight at first, and then you find out that she's a closeted lesbian, and one of the girls is kind enough to like give her an experience, but also just kind of give her mojo, which is, it's so weird too, because you think of sex as such an intimate thing, and when you see it in this, and they kind of, they don't, it doesn't feel like the way that the girl interacts with her, it's almost like she gives her this like gift. She does something insanely kind. And it's weird because we're brought up to, especially like in the United States, to think of it as such a coveted thing, such a private thing, such a special thing, which not that it wasn't like special, but it was like she gave that to her as like probably like just like one of the nicest gestures anyone had ever given this lady.
Yeah, because yeah,
her first experience with another woman.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even a big deal to her. She was like, "You're welcome."
Because the whole time you see her, there's another girl that works at the hotel, and you can tell at first that you're like, oh, okay, like she fancies this girl, like that's probably her favorite employee or something. She just doesn't want this girl to feel uncomfortable, that she's being flirted with by all these nasty Italian men all the time. And then as it happens more and more, you realize you're like, no, like I think she likes her. Yeah, I think she's got a thing for her. Like she invites her out for a dinner on her birthday, and yeah, that's when this all occurs, because then she's just like, oh, hey, by the way, do you think you could bring the other guy back? He's actually my boyfriend, and we recently got engaged. And that's when the lady's just like crushed, because she's like, I thought I was maybe finally, because obviously the girl's nice back to her. She's like, I thought maybe this was my chance to finally basically experience the love and sexual relationship that she would like to have. And that's when the one girl who becomes the pianist comes up, and she's just like, so yeah, you're a lesbian, right? She's just like, what no. And she's like, no, it's okay, like, hey, I do that too, like I like guys and girls, not a big deal. And as they're like talking, you find out she's like, oh, you've never actually had an experience. And the lady, she shuts down. She's just like, no, I haven't. She's like, hey, there's an empty hotel room here, right? You got to know, you're the manager. And she's like, well, yeah, there's one suite that's empty. She's just like, you want to meet me there in an hour? And you could tell that, like it's taking everything in this lady to just be like, no, like this is, don't do it. Like you need to keep your head to the ground. But I like to think it was a little bit of the couple drinks she had that she's just like, no, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I want to experience I basically, yeah, I want to experience like love and sex. Like I've held myself back this entire time. Just get it out of the way. Like, let me actually experience what I've wanted to this whole time. And so, yeah, you see her go into the hotel room, and you're just the whole time you're just like, fuck yeah, get it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the overwhelming arch of it is just everyone finding like their own version of happiness. Whatever.
Yeah, where they lie.
Like from the couple that is in a relationship where they're cheating on each other, but they're happy together, to the dad just realizing that for him happiness is going to be being with his family and overcoming his addiction to, stepping out on his wife, to the grandpa getting to have that last experience with the boys. And I don't know if you noticed towards the end, like the grandpa started asking some questions where it seemed like he also may have been getting early onset, like dementia or something.
Well, also at the very beginning, he fell and he hit his head. But yeah, no, he definitely was like
towards the end, like he was pretty much together, but towards the end there were a couple things that he asked, and I was like, but like and I was like, I don't know, maybe I don't know if it was supposed to be shown that way, but it was like he got to at least have this really important experience with those guys before. Who knows, when they went back, maybe he did start to kind of slip away mentally. And Tanya being able to kind of like take charge and, be in charge of her own life and make her own decisions and stand up for herself and everyone. Like, and the girls getting, the one girl getting her dream of being a pianist, the other girl getting her dream to get the money to start her own shop, and the head lady at the hotel, like just kind of discovering who she is. The only person that like really didn't get much, well, the people that didn't, well, and then even Ethan and Harper, it's weird, like you kind of actually see them slip into, because
they start to turn into
job, they become this other couple. And is that good? I don't know, because it might not be for everyone, that type of relationship. But Cameron's wife says at one point, like, oh, when he got money, things changed. And you actually start to see that in their relationship, but they have this very intimate moment at the end, and you're like, are they going to be okay? Maybe they will. I don't know. Or it's just this beginning of a different part of their relationship. Yeah. And then but the assistant, Tanya's assistant, what is her name? Oh my god, this girl is annoying.
The girl's life sucked.
Her outfits freaking horrendous.
Oh, apparently she came to defend on the internet. She came to defend the outfits that were nothing chosen.
To defend. Those were horrendous. What is that girl's name?
I have no idea.
Portia, right?
Portia.
This girl's outfits were the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Portia, what are you doing here? Go to your room. You're not supposed to be seen, Portia.
Dude, and then Portia was kind of like, Portia didn't even appreciate having that job with her, because I'm like, I would love to be Tanya's assistant. Like,
would you for a freaking?
She was this ungrateful, like young, like
no. Hold up. You just said, yeah, she didn't even appreciate the fact that she was her assistant and got to go to Italy, but she wanted her to stay in the room the entire time.
So what? It's a great view outside. She's getting paid.
That's it, though. You just sit in the hotel room. You're in Italy.
So what?
Why would you not want to go outside and check things out? I'd be like,
well, then she started going around and checking stuff out. She still had a good time.
Yeah, but that's her not listening to her boss. And the way you made it sound is, I would do everything Tanya said without question. I would never do anything against her wishes. I would live in that hotel room 24/7 and never. Obviously, she asked, and Tanya's like, "No, you're supposed to stay in your room." How dare you? Greg saw you. Ugh.
Well, that was the
ruined everything.
That girl's so dumb. She went to the hotel place for dinner. Like, And then, of course, they
Well, yeah,
saw
because
her.
for her, it makes sense why she'd go there because she'd just be like, "Yo, charge it to the room."
That's true.
That girl obviously doesn't have money. She was funny
Yeah,
enough.
because her outfits were poor.
She
and
was
ugly.
the only poor person there. Only poor person there.
Yeah, her outfits.
And she wound up in the biggest pile of shit out of everybody.
She sucked. She sucked. She couldn't appreciate because she starts talking to Albie at the beginning and decides she doesn't like the nice guy. Then she goes for the bad boy and she ends up.
Well, she's like, yeah, she's like, I like the nice guy. He's a good guy, but he's not aggressive. Like he wasn't actively like trying to go get her. And the moment that he's finally like, you know what, I'll do this, she meets the British dude that's with the gays, and she's just like, oh,
and they actually do a really good job of making him less, like, more and more unattractive as the episodes go on, because like by the time he was all drunk and stuff, like you could feel the way that she felt, where she just looked at him versus the first time she saw him when she was like, oh, who's that? He's so charming. And by the time you get to the point where this kid is sloppy drunk and she spent all this time with him, you feel that same, like, this guy is nasty. He's sloppy. He's like, what a mess. Get this guy out of here. And he's just like, oh.
Are you kidding me? The very first night when they skipped out on paying for $1 freaking kebab or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, nah, man, that ain't cool.
Yeah. But this girl, Portia, her outfits throughout this are so terrible. Like, the first point, like, this, what is this?
Well, that's a bucket hat and a oversized,
it's so ugly. This, like, button-up shirt.
I don't know what brand that is.
Oh my God.
Dressing Gen Z for White Lotus.
Dude, it is so ugly. Like, this shirt that she had with all of, like, the little Barbie heads on it, I was like, girl, what are you wearing? Stop. There are things that are supposed to be left in the 90s and early 2000s, and that is every single one of your outfits.
Well, they're coming back. Obviously.
No.
Everyone knows, Angela, fashion comes back around.
That was the worst time for fashion. I mean, dude, look at this. Like, if I saw her out too, like, I was surprised that anyone was giving her any attention, because these outfits were like, I wouldn't even be seen in public with her. I'd be like, can you not stand next to me?
The sleeves with the bikini always make me laugh.
Oh my God.
Because the only time I've ever seen something like that is in, like, medieval movies for archers.
Oh, this, like, big.
It's like wartime stuff. Like, yeah, because they need the sleeves to be able to, like, protect them in case while they're freaking firing their arrows they mess up and the string freaking slaps against their wrist area or whatever, their forearm.
I'm trying to find this, like, no, I'm looking.
Chips Ahoy?
No, they're saying season 2 has a tumultuous style, to say the least. They're talking about her outfits. Oh, this is too much. Portia has no static style. This is according to the Collider.com. And what
I genuinely
style
have
she
no
has
clue who I am or what I'm doing.
Statement that says, yeah, I generally have no clue who I am or what I'm doing, and it is absolutely perfect. If style can convey to others how you wish to be perceived, then Portia's style tells the dedicated viewers of White Lotus precisely what they need to know. I don't know what I am or what I'm doing.
Portia is overworked in White Lotus.
Who said that?
Keep
Oh,
going.
poor Portia. She's overworked. Get out of here.
See right there.
No, that's because Gen Z doesn't want to work. And you all need to listen to Kim Kardashian. And you need to just shut the fuck up. And
Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, get up and work, bitches. No one wants to work anymore. It's so true. Everyone got mad at her. You need to shut the fuck up and you need to work. No one wants to work anymore. Gen Z, get your ass up and work. You're all lazy. Come for me. Come for me. Oh, no, you know what? You can't, because you're too lazy to even actually come for me, aside from going on the internet, you lazy little trolls. Fuck Gen Z.
Whoa, hey, trolls, don't come after me. Come after her.
Don't come after Dylan. But I'm just saying, like, Gen Z, like, okay, not all of you, but 85% of you are lazy, entitled little bitches.
Where'd you get that number from?
Because 15% of you are good eggs. I've had some conversations.
You know who you're starting to sound like?
What? Tanya?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
She's starting to sound like a B word, a boomer.
Oh, I don't care. That's how I know I'm a boomer. I don't give a fuck. Gen Z is lazy. They all just want to get internet famous and not work. And hey, look, who doesn't? But they actually think they're going to.
Excuse me, miss. Okay, what's our next get rich quick scheme?
But I work at the same time. It's different.
That's true, but also at the same time, how are you going to get rich if you don't put everything into your what you want to do?
Dylan, nothing's going to change my mind. I can't stand Gen Z.
That's what Tom Segura did. Tom Segura had a job working post-production, and in order to become a comedian, you know what he did? He said, I have to get rid of this job and do nothing but comedy.
So here's the problem.
And look at him now.
I like money.
He's a beautiful bald man with blue eyes.
That's great.
Beautiful blue eyes, not brown eyes like poo-poo, but beautiful blue eyes.
I can't give up
hard
my
work and
money
dedication.
to make money. So I'm just gonna stay where I'm at because where I'm at's not too bad.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, though. Got to go through the trenches to make it out the other side.
I'm not interested in being poor.
I did that once. I'm good.
I did that once. I'm not interested. But yeah, so Portia's outfits, horrendous, just horrendous.
Horrendous.
And as for the gays, look, we love gays. These gays in this particular episode,
these gays were up to something, though.
Well, not all of them. There was just like a couple bad.
Only
gays.
15% of.
And then one of the
only
gays
15%
cried
of
when
the
she
gays.
left. Only 85%. No.
85% of the gays are
crying
cool.
when Tanya left the island because he actually didn't want her to die.
Wait, who didn't?
The one with the little black mustache. He went to.
Oh yeah, he was a little scoozy man
because he didn't want her to die, and
yeah, he actually felt bad.
He felt bad, and the little captain that was driving the boat, he wanted.
And that's why he got to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was a good guy.
The other guy, I don't know how he got to live. He just happened to still be alive when she ran out of bullets, and he jumped off.
Oh yeah, that.
Which, why didn't she do that? Why didn't she jump off the back of the boat?
I know.
Like he did. And, classic Tanya.
She could have come back alive, and it could have been his body that they found floating.
Could have been.
That would have been like maybe.
Honestly, I thought it looked more like a man's leg.
That's what I.
In the very first episode.
That's what I thought.
I thought
it was a man's body that washed ashore.
That's what I thought. And then, at the end, they're just like, guess what? It's Tanya. I was like, oof, damn, Tanya. That sucks.
I was trying to think right now, like, was there any way that Tanya could still be alive? But no, there's not.
I mean, maybe if the guy that
said a man, didn't they say a man washed ashore?
I think so. So maybe it was one of the other guys that got killed, because maybe the little boat captain was like, oh, hell no, I'm dumping these bodies and getting the fuck out of here.
Maybe we'll find out in the next one. Because I thought it was, because the whole time I thought that when the whole thing unfolded between Cameron and Ethan, because Ethan found out that Cameron kissed his wife.
Yeah, you think he's gonna drown him. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is the guy's body.
And that's what they want you to think. They want you to think that the rich people are going to get what's coming to them, but it never does.
No.
They always get away. They find a way and they get away.
Yep.
Just like in the first season.
So we want to know your thoughts. What did you think of White Lotus? Do you agree with any of this? Do you think any of this is like a bunch of hodgepodge? Have you watched it? Are you going to watch it? Tell us in the link below. And I just think it was an amazing series overall.
It was pretty good. We're hoping for a third season. It'd be pretty cool.
You know what we should do when a third season comes out? We should podcast each week and do a review, because if we had done that on this
review episodes,
we would be as famous as Gay of Thrones right now.
As Gay of Thrones? Is that what you said?
Gay of Thrones. Yeah, the guy from Queer Eye, he did a Gay of Thrones where he every week did his review on what was going on, and it was amazing.
I've never heard of this. Okay,
Gay
I'm
Thrones.
glad I did hear you correctly.
Yeah,
because I was like, we've been throwing out the gays a lot. Am I just hearing things? Gay of Thrones.
It's pretty good.
So obvious.
It's the one that looks like Jesus. Michael, I think it's.
I don't know the queer eyes for the straight guys.
But yeah, we should do that for the next season each week. Are you
there
down?
You go. Sure.
Now for our next episode, because we ran out of time today, we have a whole segment about Peloton.
Wait, what do you mean we ran out of time?
I've got stuff I gotta go and do today.
Oh, okay.
But
after I made that nice segue into Don Segura.
Yes. We're gonna have to do it on the next one. Do you want to? Well, we could record tomorrow if you feel like doing it again tomorrow, or even Saturday.
Tomorrow.
You want to do it tomorrow? I'm
down
tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.
There you go, peoples. Yeah, you'll have another one tomorrow.
Well,
whenever that day actually is for you.
I still gotta edit and stuff.
Well, yeah, whatever day that is for you.
Yeah.
For me, it's tomorrow. For you, who knows?
We're gonna have to make it a Christmas special.
I don't have Christmas colors. It's not a thing.
Well, put your green.
You know what?
Up.
I'll put my green. Yeah, I'll put my green screen up and just not turn it on.
That. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly. Just green.
Thank you for watching. This has been a Relatable Rodarte podcast, and stay tuned for next time. Should we send it out? Send them out in that? Are you going to do the harmonizing one?
I can't hit that high. That's going to have to be you.
Do the regular one. Ready?
I forgot how it goes already, though.
Ready?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
That's not bad.
So yeah, for everybody else, go look up the theme song to White Lotus. It's weirdly catchy
and eerie.
Yeah, it's a nice mix. It's a song you can bop to.
Yeah, you can really bop to it.